I actually made a part 2! I actually made a part 2 to something! Anyway, hello, if you're new here, you technically didn't have to watch the first time I did this with the other 3 main 6 plus Sunset. But I mean, I'd still appreciate that. Today we're gonna redesign Equestria Girls, but specifically their superhero magical girl transformations from Legend of Everfree onward, because some of them were kind of mid and some of them were absolute flops. My first video does have a more in-depth explanation as to why I was disappointed by the original outfits, but I go into each one corresponding to the girls I redesigned in more detail over here. To summarize, I thought they were super cluttered and they lacked cohesion with each other, and also that the first outfits were too eye-straining. I say cohesion with each other because while the second outfits did improve on their individual cohesion so as to not look too cluttered, their outfits didn't really indicate that they were all part of a team. If you take away the fact that they're parallels of the main pony team, you don't really get that they're all working together upon first glance without any context. Also, copy-pasted from the first video, here's my obligatory disclaimer. This is basically glorified fan art. I wanted to try making simpler, streamlined, animation-friendly outfits the first time around that also remedy my personal complaints with the original designs. And since one of them was the cluttered colors, I went for a mostly monochromatic approach. Now the girls we're designing today are going to finish the lineup since I didn't get to them in the first video, those being Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Pinkie Pie. I'm pretty okay with Applejack's first Crystal Guardian outfit, though I think she looks better in warmer colors instead of the diluted, washed out hair dye teal. The pants are also not it, neither are the socks, I'm sorry. However, her gauntlets and her boots do fit her super strength power pretty well, and that is a power that I kept. I do like the dress, I just don't feel like it's very Applejack, though granted, any outfit that doesn't feel super farm girl doesn't immediately feel like Applejack, and a magical girl outfit is definitely in that category. However, trying to make her look more like a farm girl and less like a magical girl is what I believe made the second design flop the hardest out of all of them. Like for the friendship power outfit, I could just summarize it as, did they even try? Oh, she's a farm girl. Let's give her just like a normal looking shirt, cause that's what farm girls wear, normal shirt, and we should give her a skirt. But she's magical, so let's make the skirt really long and really sparkly, and she needs like her country accessories, her shoes, and her hat. We're done here. So we're totally scrapping that. I did start from scratch for all of them, but especially for this one. I'm being really mean to Applejack here. I'm sorry to whoever worked on these designs. I don't know what constraints there were during production or anything, obviously. I do really like Applejack's gauntlets in the first outfit because they are just so AJ, so I kept them, and her main power is still super strength. I was going to give each of the girls 2 powers, but after I decided on both of Applejack's powers, I remembered in the Power Ponies episode in the original show, she had this lasso. She had this magic lasso, which also reminded me of Wonder Woman's, I think it's Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. It's the lasso that you wrap around someone and it gets them to tell the truth, which is more blatantly honesty, but I didn't go with the lasso because I found a loophole to give Applejack a lasso without making it her other 2 powers, because knowing Applejack, she would probably be very skilled with a lasso, so she might bring the lasso with her. It's not a part of her transformed outfit, but she would just like take it with her to fight. It's just a regular lasso that she's really good at using. So that leaves her other 2 powers free. One of them is super strength, and the other one is basically a JoJo stand gun. If you haven't seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it is basically a magical gun. That's just the first comparison that came to mind, because there are quite a few magic guns there. My thought process behind this is, one, Applejack being the element of honesty, so she's all about honesty, and honest communication is the foundation for a good relationship. And also that Applejack is just no frills, straight to the point, and a gun is kind of a lot less obviously dramatic, or it's harder to dramatize than, say, a sword or a ribbon or a magical girl staff. Or even a lasso to some extent. Like you could swing the lasso in a dramatic, flashy way. But with a gun, it's a lot easier to just shoot point blank and kill the target. I feel like saying that out loud is a bit of a stretch, but I hope that gets my thought process across. The other half of it was just I thought Applejack would be really cool as the gun character. However, to update, I'm not saying that it's not possible to have a flashy magical gun character. I have watched Madoka Magica since the last video. There is a flashy gun character, Mami Tomoe. I don't know if I'm pronounced that right, but she's really cool. Putting that aside and continuing from the last video, I gave each of the girls a main shape as well that I wanted to incorporate in their designs, and Applejack's main shape is a square. Since it is fairly well known as a character design principle that shape language for squares in characters is someone who is strong and dependable, or if you want a more negative connotation, they're very rigid. For Applejack's top piece, I wanted to steal Madoka's top from Madoka Magica since I liked it, and it easily has the most rectangular shape language. But for extra rectangles, I also gave Applejack thick straps instead of sleeves. I sort of kept her gold belt as well from the first Crystal Guardian outfit, as in I kept the concept of a thick gold belt and just did whatever I wanted with it. Though now I wish I'd drawn her belt buckle as an apple, like maybe still a square, but it would have a little stem and leaf on top, but it's whatever. I will say, since the last video, I did delete enough stuff on my iPad to open Procreate without crashing, but since it is still a hazard and my iPad is really old, both in version and in actual age, I am not going to use it. Luckily, this was a sketch already lying around in Procreate that I really liked, so I decided to just go ahead and render it since I was still able to, technically. The other two outfits, however, are drawn on my phone on Ibis Paint X with my finger, so apologies for the phone quality. So Pinkie Pie is interesting. Her first outfit is my least favorite, but her second outfit I think is one of the best just because of how much it improves on the original. I ranked it as A tier going into S tier on my tier list. That's just how many extra improvement points it gets. Her first outfit kind of has a similar problem to Applejack, but where Applejack's second outfit failed by being too basic in an Applejack style, Pinkie Pie's first outfit looks like it's unsure of what a Pinkie Pie style is. It really looks more egregious the more you look at it. You keep noticing details that just make you think like, wait, why did they do that? So first she has this marching band looking jacket, a sleeveless jacket as well, but then she has long sleeves anyway from her undershirt and big shoulder pads. The undershirt is also bright pastel yellow and it is literally the same color value as her skin. Her skirt just looks like that for some reason. I'm personally biased against the scallop hem, but I think the extra line details are supposed to resemble cupcake wrappers. Then her leggings are the same ice rain fuchsia as her skirt cape jacket thing. Now, what I think her second outfit got right is that they knew what Pinkie Pie's general style was, and or they stopped mashing stuff together that they thought were Pinkie Pie styled. There's nothing too excessive about Pinkie Pie's Friendship Power outfit. It's pretty general in terms of magical girl looking, but it still utilizes bright pastel colors and round lines and shapes that you would associate Pinkie Pie with. Though I was mostly starting from scratch for all of my redesigns, I did keep the concept of Pinkie Pie having a really poofy skirt in the second one. I knew I couldn't make the shape of her crystal and main shape motif just be a circle because I already did that for Sunset, but I'm obviously still keeping the bouncy curved line work because without them, Pinkie Pie just isn't Pinkie Pie. The next best thing I thought of was rays, which might not be a shape, but like when I say rays, you know what the shape of those are, like sun rays. My thought process was something like, okay, since her element is to make people laugh and to have fun, the rays are kind of like her joy being spread to everyone around her, and that was reasonable sounding enough for me to just go with it. Pinkie Pie's explosion power was also one of my problems with the original, not because the power itself is bad, but at the time I thought that it was just really random compared to most of the girls except Twilight. Though looking back on it, I do think it's still following the pattern of the rest of the girls, as in Pinkie Pie's is so random and specific because she's the party girl or the cupcake girl. Fluttershy can talk to animals because she's the animal girl. Rarity gets gem powers because she's the jewelry girl. Twilight gets telekinesis because she's a unicorn, I guess. So I think Twilight's is the worst now instead of Pinkie Pie. I made Pinkie Pie's secondary powers still be explosions, and she has little bombs on her belt. That's what they're supposed to be. Sorry about my phone. Her main power that's connected to the element of laughter is basically to power up or boost every other power in the Magical Girl lineup. Can she boost herself? I don't know, but we have a healer and we have a support now, so the team is balanced. Also, chronologically, Pinkie Pie was the last one I drew. I drew Rainbow Dash mostly with my index finger, because like what other finger would I be using? But after I finished it, I injured my finger really badly, so for Pinkie Pie, I did not color the line art with different colors this time. Rainbow Dash's first outfit is pretty okay. I feel like it takes more inspiration from Pony Rainbow Dash, since the Wonderbolts are both elite performers and kind of the military, hence the prince-looking getup, and I understand why the leggings are there, but I do think it would look better if either the cape wasn't so flared or it was a bit longer, but that's just personal preference of mine. I do think it suits Rainbow Dash, since she does have an air of power and self-confidence. Rainbow's friendship power outfit, on the other hand, looks like she got it from Justice. Like, do you guys remember Justice? 3rd grade me is obsessed with shirts and dresses with flippable sequins, and Justice is the place to shop for that. All the girls are wearing some form of skirt in their friendship power lineup, and while I didn't like how some of the crystal designs looked, I did appreciate that not everyone was wearing skirts. I'd like to have done that too, but I did want my outfits to have more unity, and I hadn't at the time figured out a way to alter my designs to give one of the girls pants. I am kind of disappointed for not thinking of that. I did include that in a animatic, so I guess that's good. I gave Rainbow Dash a skirt cover to pay homage to her first crystal outfit because I did actually like that part. However, it ended up looking too similar to my Fluttershy redesign, so if anyone's gonna get a redesign of their redesign, it's probably gonna be Rainbow Dash. It would be an opportunity to give Rainbow Dash pants, or I could give Applejack pants and give Rainbow Dash a mini skirt. Though on that note, her inner skirt and top were both inspired by Cloudsdales, and I guess the Pegasi is a subspecies Greco-Roman influence. Her top is influenced by the loose-fitting clothing of the time like togas or tutans, and her skirt is inspired by Roman soldier skirts. You can see the Pegasi culture Roman influence most clearly in the episode Hearthwarming Eve, and also a bit with the Pillar of Bravery when the pillars were introduced in season 7. The rest of the outfit also takes inspiration from the first Crystal Guardian outfit, like keeping the shoulder pads, and you can see in the previous video I have these really long boots that were supposed to resemble the very first movie's big chunky boots, before I kind of scrapped them and made that actual boots, and that was again just for uniformity. Rainbow Dash's main shape's a shield, and she also retains a lot of points and sharp edges, like the original Rainbow Dash. Her main power is basically stolen from Rarity's original power, creating shields, since that did feel more connected to the element of loyalty, and I do want their powers to be connected to their elements. But I still wanted to keep Rainbow Dash's super speed, which I did as her secondary power, because it does still feel very Rainbow Dash. And that led me to the idea of Rainbow Dash using both powers at once to run super fast and have a bunch of shields or one big shield rise up from the path that she ran. I wish I had some sort of animation demonstrating, but this is all you're getting. I do want to get this out by June. Speaking of getting out by June, these are all the finished designs. And I'm not entirely sure when I'll be posting again. If I am able to make a lower effort, shorter video, then I might do that. But after July, I am going to stick with my decision of going on hiatus. I know I have like regularly really long gaps between uploads, but this is gonna be more than a few months, so I felt like I should at least address it somewhere. In addition to just adjusting to going back to my regular school schedule, I'm gonna be applying to colleges this year, so I just have to prioritize my academics. So that's where I am in general, but getting back on topic, I don't think I'm gonna make this a series, though I do also want to try redesigning the girls' Rainbow Rocks outfits, because those are definitely choices. But again, that won't be until 2026 earliest, so I am sorry in advance for the big delay, but hey, when I get back, I'll have had just enough free time to not worry about both the video schedule and school, to go and try and revamp some assets for the channel, perhaps, perchance. I really want a 3D model of my little persona guy, that's the main thing. Anyway, bye!